Pritika, why don't you tell us something about FICCI Flow?
Oh, Flow, it would be my pleasure. SaiDeepa, Flow is the women's wing of FICCI, that is the Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we are the women's wing. We have about 17 chapters spread across India, and there are about 8,000 plus women entrepreneurs and business women as members of Flow. And Coimbatore, the chapter is in its 29th year. And yeah, it's quite one of the established old chapters that we have in FICCI Flow. And yeah, we are all about empowering women. And this year, especially, the president's theme is about sustainable practices and sustainable livelihood for women empowerment.
Amazing.
And I think today's collaboration with you and Ishani is all about health with Ayurveda, because we think it's the need of the hour. And it's something that I know that people across chapters were looking forward to. If I think we can start. So I'm going to start with saying that, you know, it's a very good evening and welcome to today's workshop hosted by FICCI Ladies Organization, Coimbatore chapter. Health intelligence for all through Ayurveda is the topic of our workshop. Ayurveda is a profound science of living that encompasses the whole of life and relates the life of the individual to the life of the universe. It is a holistic system of healing in the truest sense. Body, mind, and consciousness are in constant interaction and relationship with people and environment around us. In working to create health, Ayurveda takes into consideration these different levels of life, and their interconnectedness. Dr. SaiDeepa and Ishani Naidu will be offering an overall view to understanding how we can connect and empower ourselves. The two sessions, today and tomorrow, will include experiential, contemplative, and hands-on practices around nourishing sleep, graceful aging, and Ayurveda's unique way of cultivating health intelligence. Dr. SaiDeepa is an Ayurveda doctor and has been practicing for over 10 years now. She's the 5th generation Ayurveda Vaidya and has been running Dr. Nedungadi's Ayurveda Center, Dr. NAC, in Chennai and in Coimbatore. Her style of practice and treatment is entirely holistic. It involves yoga, meditation, mindfulness, and of course, following the Ayurveda wisdom. Her focus is now on integrating medical systems to bring about the most effective methods in preventive and treatment protocols. Ishani Naidu is an Ayurveda health educator and children's book author. Her workshops on online programs explore how to use principles of Ayurveda and Vedanta in our daily lives for physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual well-being. It was the common shared passion of Ayurveda that has brought together Dr. SaiDeepa and Ishani together to collaborate and work to curate Ayurveda workshops. If I may now request Dr. SaiDeepa and Ishani to take things forward. And as a request to all attendees, please mute yourselves. Thank you. Dr. SaiDeepa.
Yes, thank you so much, Preetika. That was a lovely introduction. A very good evening. I am Dr. SaiDeepa, and it's an honor, and I'm very, very excited to be able to interact with each and every one of you. Um, Let us consider this pandemic as a pause in our busy lives. Let us take this as an opportunity to introspect and discover a healthy body mind relationship and cultivate health intelligence and help pave way to create a new chapter in our lives. Ayurveda has taken a forefront in the last 10 to 15 years, and almost everyone has heard of it or has experienced it firsthand. It is much, much more than a medical system. It was very early on, even when I was in college studying the science, that I discovered that it was very subtly classified into two parts. Can we have the slides, Pritika?
Sure. Just give me a sec. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Ayurveda for life and Ayurveda as a medical profession. So in Ayurveda for life, the preventive aspect is emphasized and techniques and methods to develop a healthy body and mind, which in turn helps one in spiritual transformation or evolution, is a core principle that's mentioned. So this basically covers understanding one's own physical and mental constitution, balancing one's emotional changes that happens, fostering a very healthy diet and lifestyle, ability to give oneself first aid, as well as psycho-spiritual transformation. So Ayurveda as a medical profession, on the other hand, is to cure or manage diseases. The next slide, Pritika.
Sure.
Yeah, we can hold it there. Um, knowing oneself, knowing oneself is given priority in this science. Every human body has three dimensions, like we all know. It's the body, the mind, and the soul. So the body and the mind is influenced or conditioned by various factors like your ethnicity, your family, the community, the space and time, the region you're born in, the season, different seasons that happen through your life, and aging. Now think of Ayurveda here as a mirror. It reflects your own true self. It will show you and help understand and accept yourself for who you are. It'll help prevent and predict and give you a personalized approach to health in all these three dimensions of body, mind, and soul. Now, it is at this junction that I would like to introduce our topic. We have heard of health for all, as is everything in Ayurveda. Even this has a very deep and profound meaning in our science. We take the slogan a step further, and we have decided to call it health intelligence for all, not just health for all. Now, Ayurveda as a system nurtures this particular concept of health intelligence and taking it and taking the responsibility of one's own health here. So the science talks about self-care and its boundaries and developing the ability to know when professional intervention is required, when and for what one must go and consult a qualified physician. So everything that you need to know about Ayurveda is already in our, fingertips on Google. We all know, and the knowledge is there, and the knowledge is there through internet, through social media, through books, webinars, talks, etc. We know that we have to wake up early. We all know that we must sit and meditate. We all know that, you have to eat healthy, you have to work out, practice yoga. And can we have the next slide, Pritika? Yeah, etc., etc. The list goes on. So the question is, you can keep clicking. So the question here is, we know all this, right? And how does one bring about this knowledge into our daily lives? How do you bring it into your daily practice? What is that one thing that you can do to bridge this gap between knowing and doing? And that's exactly where harnessing your innate health intelligence plays a big role. Can we have the next slide? Yeah, so I'm forwarding this talk to Ishani, where she will explain to us about how we are going to spend the next 24 hours.
Yes. Again, I'll reiterate, just beautiful to be here with you all. And again, as Dr. SaiDeepa said, we have so much information. And now our intention for this next 24 hours is to really drop in and absorb some of that, to have an experience of some of that, to really reflect on ourselves. And we want to really invite you to treat this as a real 24-hour pause in your time. So what we're going to ask you to do here today, we're going to do a few exercises in this workshop today and tomorrow. We're going to give you a few practices you can do tonight and tomorrow morning to keep this spirit of gentle self-reflection, of connecting with your own self, of really coming to terms with where you are right now. Because one of these first steps to making change is accepting where you are in the moment. So the more that we look at these lists and feel overwhelmed and try and move forward, the more difficult it is, the more we're resisting ourselves. So before we get deep into the what we more should do, let's take a minute to just be where we are right now. Because as Dr. SaiDeepa said, Ayurveda looks at you and says, you are whole, you are perfect right here, right now, without any changes. And that's a beautiful piece of Ayurveda we're inviting you to experience today, tonight, tomorrow morning, and again when we meet tomorrow. So right now, in the spirit of just being with ourselves, I'm gonna just lead you through a very short exercise where we can just kind of be together for a moment. So what I'll invite you to do is just sit comfortably. Just relax your body for a minute. Set down any pens, pencils. Just get comfortable. Sit gently upright. And we're going to just accept where we are emotionally right now. I think it's again just an incredible honor and inspiration to be with so many dynamic women who I know all of you are very active out in the world and are making dreams, making businesses, making change. And Ayurveda asks us to check in and be still sometimes. And this is important because the more we suppress our feelings, disregard our feelings, set them aside, push them away, that's where a lot of disease comes from. That's where a lot of chronic illness comes from. And that's one thing that Ayurveda teaches us. So sit comfortably and go ahead and close your eyes. You can let your hands be relaxed on your lap. And just gently close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths. And first, just mentally congratulate yourself for showing up here today. You made it. Out of all the things you had to do, all the places you had to be, you really set aside this 1 hour of time to look inward and be with yourself. You've prioritized your own well-being already today, and that's beautiful. As you just breathe, each breath in and out relaxes your body more. And just tell yourself inwardly that this is a safe time to be inside. That this is a safe place for you to look within. And ask yourself the way you would just a friend you really care about, the way a mother would ask her child, how are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? There's no need to be afraid of what you'll hear. There's no emotion too heavy. There's no feeling too dark. There's no pressure too oppressive. Just imagine yourself in the loving embrace of a good friend in the warm lap of a mother, and you're able to just let go and feel how you feel. Without any judgment, without any story, without any urge to change it. Just allow those feelings to come up like little bubbles. And you may feel the feelings stronger in a certain part of your body. So maybe in your heart, you feel them a little more, or maybe it's in your stomach that you feel a grip of stress or a grip of tightness. If there's a part of your body that feels tight or feels full of emotion, go ahead and put your hands there if you'd like. Maybe on your heart, or maybe on your belly. Sometimes there's a tightness in the throat. Just breathe. Just tell yourself in that quiet awareness of your feelings, you are an unlimited container for all of your emotions. Your emotions change, they rise, they fall, but you are an unlimited container for them. You're able to accept them as they are. You're able to gift yourself acceptance. It doesn't matter if others accept you, others understand you, others see you. You see yourself. You accept yourself. Another 2 or 3 gentle breaths. And if you feel a lot of emotions this way, this is a beautiful way to just sit and be with your feelings. You'll find just your gentle awareness of them softens them a little bit. These feelings are telling us something, but we can only hear what they're saying if we sit and listen. So this posture, this attitude of simply being with ourselves, gifting ourselves a loving awareness, a wholesome acceptance, an unconditional love, this is the attitude we want to carry around for the next 24 hours. So set an intention to check in this way a few times between now and when we meet again. Go ahead and take another deep breath. You can even wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a little hug, just to love yourself, appreciate yourself, hold yourself. You can open your eyes, relax your arms. Beautiful to be with you here now. So now Dr. SaiDeepa will bring us forward in the spirit of being here and accepting ourselves. So let's hear more, Dr. SaiDeepa.
Thank you,
Ishani. That was lovely.
That was so beautiful. So, can we have the next slide, Pritika? Yes, thank you. So, the stages of life. It's so enchantingly described in Ayurveda. And Ishani has already set up such a beautiful meditative mood. So let's stay in this moment. Let's stay in this beautiful moment that she's created for all of us. As I direct your thoughts towards your past, your present, and your future. The best way to understand the different stages of life is again by looking at how we progressed since we were little to where we are now and to where we are headed. You can either keep your eyes closed just so that we are still in that meditative mode. Allow me to transport all of you, going back in time when you were born. Just like how the sun rises, you have risen. Think of that moment. Vividly remember how you were as a child, maybe between the age of 5 and 10. Think of 1 or 2 very strong memories from that time. Your emotions at that point. A little child, a little body, eager, curious, strong-headed maybe, flexible, filled with enthusiasm, filled with joy and pure energy. Go back to that time, relate yourself to that emotion, feel that emotion when you were a child. Slowly going ahead, your teenage years of actually starting to take up responsibility, ending school, going into college, all the hormonal changes, a lot of decision making, a major transitional period in your life. Take out 1 or 2 memories from this phase of your life. Those very strong memories from this period. What was your emotion? What was your energy level? Connect with that emotion, connect with that energy. And from there, ever so beautifully transforming into adulthood, the midlife, where you are discovering purpose, working hard towards your goals, and having a much clearer vision of what lays ahead. This form of stability that you have in the midlife, your 30s, 40s, 50s, where you have discovered a lot of things that fulfills you. Bring out that 1 or 2 memories at this point. Connect with the emotion, feel the energy. Gradually and slowly going into the most graceful period of 70, 80, 90, and 100. Even though you might not feel the same energy, you are looking into your future. You might not be feeling the same energy as you felt in your teens or your midlife. You discover and understand what life was all about. You're standing tall, strong, wise, and it's a stage where you start passing out wisdom to the rest of the world before you set. just as gracefully and majestically like the sun sets. The transformation of your existence between conception and death. I'm not using the word birth here because we have already started living 9 months before we were actually out. So the transformation of your existence between conception and death is nothing short of the most amazing phenomenon that you can experience. Starting from conception, through birth, through childhood, through midlife, through the veteran years, we notice this lovely underlying flow of changes and adjustments that are constantly happening. Slowly opening our eyes. We see changes in the season through the years, the weather changes. Similarly, so does our body and mind throughout our life. What's absolutely amazing is that Ayurveda has mentioned how each body is different. We are all conceived with a unique body-mind type, the genetic makeup. And that's why even treatments in Ayurveda are individual-centered and not disease-centered. We also have the psycho-neuroimmunoendocrinology, the PNIE. And when we say everybody is unique, every body is unique, every mental type is unique. So it also means that you have a unique personalized diet and lifestyle. Now, how does one figure out their own body and mind type? So now we have some brilliant, intelligent experts like Luke Cotino, we have Rujuta, we have Dr. Hegde, etc., and many, many more amazing personalities who are already guiding us through various forms of lifestyles, activities, diet tips, sleep patterns. So how does one know what suits us? Like, it's easier for us to know this once we've understood our body type and the changes that take place through our life and how it's pivotal to make these changes based on the time of the day, based on your age, based on the region you are from, based on the different seasons through the year. Now, here again, harnessing our inner health intelligence is very important to be able to make these decisions. So at this point, I think we can take in some questions. We can go to the next slide, Pritika. It's just Q&A. We can take in some questions here. If anyone has any doubts so far or any queries so far, we are open.
If anyone has something, you just need to unmute yourself and ask the question. Looks like nobody has a question for now, Deepa. They're still in a very calm space, I think.
I'm glad. I'm sure everyone is still in this beautiful state that Ishani set for us. I think Ishani, we can carry on then. We'll questions as and when it comes once you're done with your talk also.
Wonderful.
Next slide, Pritika.
Wonderful. Ha! Even I was visualizing myself as a baby, myself growing up, feeling that different energy. And this is maybe the one I wish I could go back to the most, right? So if you have access to your chat window, we want to talk a little bit about sleep. So if you have access to chat, go ahead and type in for me. Let's hear just in 1 or 2 words. How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? When you first become aware that you're waking up, what is that dominant feeling or that first thought you have, or what's the mood when you first wake up? Go ahead, you can type it into this chat here. Looking forward to having tea. I know.
Yeah, it's joy, joy.
Joy. Wonderful. Are people feeling grateful? Beautiful. We start hearing the birds, feeling fresh. Wonderful. Sometimes happy, sometimes tired, energetic.
Like it's morning so soon.
We can't believe it's happened. It's come. Calm. Yes. Medicines. Yeah, my thyroid pill medicines. So immediately we have a to-do list coming. Yeah. And how about, yeah, so it varies. Sometimes we feel tired, sometimes we feel fresh. And how about, how do you feel, either type or just chime in, how do you feel once you've turned off the lights and you're ready to fall asleep? In that moment, right when, okay, now it's time for me to sleep. You're not asleep yet, but you've turned off the lights, you've done everything, you're in your bed. How do you feel in that, that moment there? Relaxed, introspective, relaxing your muscles. Mm-hmm. Sometimes restless, sometimes satisfied, a big smile on my face.
A little chanting.
Chanting, right. Something to ease you in, calm and relaxed. Done for the day. Grateful, thankful, relaxed and thankful, planning for the next day. Beautiful, beautiful. Type in now, do you feel like you get too much sleep? Or do you feel like you don't get enough sleep? Or do you feel like you get just the right amount of sleep? Just enough, not enough.
Just enough.
Just enough, okay, right sleep, enough. Varies sometimes. So not enough, enough, not enough, enough. Yeah, we're kind of all over the board here. Just enough and maybe wanting a little more. Not enough and just enough. Wonderful. Yeah, so good enough. Okay, great. Thank you. Well, I love hearing how most of us are feeling bright and fresh and ready for the day. Most of us are falling asleep relatively calm, relaxed, with some kind of practice of gratitude at the end of the day. The reason we're bringing sleep in here, the reason we're talking about sleep and its importance in Ayurveda, its importance in graceful aging, is its importance to help us cultivate this peaceful and introspective quality that we want to carry with us throughout the day. This cycle of sleep in Ayurveda is really a core pillar of health. I mean, we all know, right, the satisfaction, the deep bliss of a good night's sleep. I mean, there's really nothing like it. We also all know the headaches and the crankiness and the short-temperedness that comes when, for whatever reason, we haven't slept well enough or we've had disturbed sleep. So it's our experience that sleep is important. And I like to think of sleep as kind of this metronome to our day, a metronome to our lives. It's a real rhythm that we need to align with. I see this picture of this infant, and as I was visualizing myself through this aging sequence, the rhythm of sleep, or a deep respect for sleep and letting it trump almost everything else, is something we see in children. They'll fall asleep anywhere. And when you have a child who's deeply asleep that needs to sleep, you cannot wake that child up. And we have to kind of let that inspire us somewhat to really give sleep the importance that it deserves, because so often sleep is seen as the first thing that we can cut away. When there's so many things I have to get done today, so many places I need to be, responsibilities I have, cutting short sleep feels like the first thing you can do. No problem, I'll just wake up an hour later. No problem, I'll just stay up an hour later. We cramp in that sleep as if it's something optional, is one thing we often do with sleep. And another thing we often do is we let it be very variable. So the way that we sleep, maybe during the work week, the time we go to bed, the time we wake up, and on the weekend, the time we go to bed and the time we wake up, might vary a lot. Now, do we think that our body is really aware? Okay, it's Tuesday, I have my meeting on Tuesday morning, so I'm gonna go to bed early and I'm gonna wake up fresh, ready for it. Does your body and its systems really know the difference between that and, all right, it's Saturday, we're gonna go to a function, we're gonna stay out late, then I can sleep in a little later in the morning. So that kind of changing to our sleep rhythm is very confusing for our body, which doesn't know our social calendar, doesn't know our late deadlines, doesn't know why things are changing, why we're awake. At the same time, we have a lot of things in our lifestyle these days which disrupts our healthy sleep cycle. So while normally we should be really picturing ourselves when we look out at nature, nature isn't going 100 miles an hour, fully productive, fully vibrant, fully active, totally open, and then the sun sets and it shuts down like that. There's a process, right? There's a gradual process between the activity, the motion, the growth that's happening in the day, and then being put to sleep. So if you picture a lotus, or you picture some flower that opens and closes every day, it isn't open and then just snaps shut. And it isn't closed tight and the sun comes up and it pops open. We're like that. We are like that. And yet we expect our body, we expect our mind to wake up in the morning, get to work, rush straight into the activity of the day, checking our emails, checking our messages, responding here and there. And we also expect our body and our mind to be totally relaxed, totally calm, totally inward, and ready to just let go of the entire world. We expect it to be able to do that even if we've been out in public, essentially, on social media, or we've been stimulated and checking out the outside world through television or videos or, social media or things like that. So it's good, and this is the invitation again of this retreat, is to just subtly observe what you're asking your body and mind to do. And watch yourself as you're falling asleep tonight, as you're waking up tomorrow. Is this the kind of cycle that mimics what happens in nature? Is there a slow sunrise, a beautiful, meditative, slow dawning, and then I'm active, and then I slowly shut down at the end of the day? Or do I wake up already with a list of 40 things in my head and already feeling anxious and behind the ball and rush out into the world and run like that until the end of the day and expect to be able to let it all go? So a gentle awareness about this is really important. I was so happy to see some people mention that they have a practice at the end of the day to really make that transition. And those are so important, so important. I'll give you just a couple of helpful tips that will help you. And again, these are ones that you probably already know, but we're inviting you to really make an effort to try them tonight. So one of those is, one of these is at the end of the day, at least an hour before bed, turning off your phone, turning off your TV. I know this is like the 800th time someone has mentioned this to you. And I know you've heard it many times, but how many of us actually do it? Probably very few. But let tonight be special. Let tonight be different. Let's try something new, where an hour before you go to bed, you put the phone aside and you turn the TV off and see what comes up for you. Sometimes we feel restless.
Looks so old.
So sometimes we feel like we don't know what to do with ourselves in that hour before bed. So try it, see what comes up for you, and let's talk about it tomorrow when we meet again. And the other one is really setting a constant waking time and sleeping time. Just like we trained our children to sleep, we tried to put them to bed at the same time every night. We tried to wait, they would automatically wake up at the same time every morning. Be your own mother and put yourself to bed on time every day and watch the difference that has in the quality of your sleep. And that really resets a lot of your biorhythms to have that steady sleeping and waking time. In the morning, you're going to have a couple of homeworks tonight as part of your retreat, since we're not all here together in one place where we can just fully relax into the retreat atmosphere. You have to do some on your own. So in the morning tomorrow, when you wake up, we're going to invite you to do an active morning gratitude practice. So it's very simple, it's very easy, and it's incredibly effective. And so in the morning, tomorrow morning, as you wake up, sit up in your bed and with your eyes closed still, take a few deep breaths and just gently put your palms on each part of your body, especially the joints, especially the joints. Just give yourself this kind of energizing touch. What this does is it wakes up your body a little bit. You touch each part of your body and it says, okay, it's time to activate. So it brings some energy into your body. And as you touch each part of your body, as you put your hands on each joint, spending extra time on those problematic parts of your body, give it mentally some love and gratitude. Even that problematic elbow or that problematic knee, they're still serving you in some way. So give them some, I'm so grateful for this shoulder. I'm so grateful for this elbow. Show some gratitude to each and every little part of your body, and see how that slow, gratitude-filled, self-loving, conscious and intentional first action of the day, how that ripple effects into the rest of your day. So this is your one retreat activity for your morning tomorrow. And the other one is tonight, and this is an incredibly effective sleep aid. This is a practice where at night, just before you go to bed, take a little oil, a little bit of warmed oil. It can be coconut oil, it can be sesame oil, it can be any other kind of herbal, natural body oil you have, almond oil or even castor oil. Warm it up a little bit and gently apply it to the soles of your feet, the soles of your feet. Not a lot, like you're doing a whole abhyanga, but just apply a little bit to the soles of your feet. Also apply a little bit to the ear lobes, the parts of your ears. And just a few drops just on the crown of your head, okay? Again, it doesn't have to be a whole head massage, getting all sloppy. Just a few drops, just a few drops. This warm oil has an effect of reducing this vata dosha in the body, reducing that bioenergetic forces in the body of movement and activity. It really calms the body, especially if you fall asleep but your body feels kind of restless. You can't quite physically calm down. This oil has an incredible benefit to that. Also the thoughts, and you'll notice your mind, that heaviness, that weight, that moisture of the oil drags your thoughts down into a very calm and settled place too. So it has that effect. You'll notice that you fall asleep faster, that your sleep is more deep. And because of that, you'll wake up more fresh the next morning. So this practice I cannot recommend enough. Everyone who's tried it just feels like, wow, that was a real sleep. So please, tonight, just before bed, you can do that. Oil on the bottom of the feet. And when you wake up, this gratitude exercise in the morning. And if you have any questions about that, just about these few sleep tips or any of these few practices, we can do those now. And then Dr. SaiDeepa, after we have some questions, she'll lead us through one more sleep aiding practice. So does anyone have any questions about sleep, how to get good sleep, benefits of sleep, or about how that relates to aging gracefully? Anything you'd like to share also? We have a few moments for that too.
Yeah, so that's what I think we decided to have the Q&A session now before we go into, the final conscious relaxation. So because once we get into the relaxed mode, we do not really want to hype up everything. And we set beautifully and majestically, like how the sun sets. So any questions now, we would like to interact. We would love to hear your experiences as well. So, and it's amazing that, we have this bunch of dynamic, women personalities with us here today, and all of us doing this 24 hours together. It's just an absolutely amazing space. So I'm glad that we came up with this idea, Ishani.
So Deepa, there's a question from Haim Samdaria.
Yeah.
So what's the ideal hours of sleep? How many hours of sleep one should have?
Yeah. Ishani, want to answer?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so again, like I mentioned, when it comes to your body, you have your own unique body type, and we have our body type divided into Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So depending on your day-to-day work activities, depending on your body constitution, you need to determine the right amount of sleep. People say 6 hours to 8 hours. Some say, you need about 9 hours of sleep. Some say just 5 hours is good enough. So again, here you need to figure out, or you need to analyze yourself and find out how many hours of sleep is ideal for you. And the best way to find this out is exactly like how Ishani, put up the question. What do you feel when you wake up in the morning? What's that first thing that you feel? Are you getting out of the bed fresh and energetic? Are you full of life? Or are you literally dragging yourself out of the bed? So this clearly shows the state of your health as well as your sleep pattern, or how many hours you require to sleep. So please analyze yourself. Take a week off. Now during this quarantine time, lockdown period, this is the best time to do all this. So please make a note of, have a journal, write down and see, I slept from this time to this time, and these many hours seems to be making me feel good in the morning when I wake up. So it's nice. So any time between 6 hours, some people just 5 hours of sleep and they are like good to go for the rest of the day, but they take power naps in between. So you need to figure out your own, ideal personalized sleep time. And that's what's fantastic about Ayurveda.
And maybe also, SaiDeepa, we should mention about napping, about daytime, sleeping in the daytime.
Yeah.
I'll just add one point. Yeah.
It's a trend, power nap. So you say power nap and then that's fine. Power naps are okay. Then there's napping and then there's sleeping together during the daytime. And the idea of compensating, okay, I've slept really late last night, I got only 4 hours of sleep, so I'm going to get the rest 4 hours during the daytime, right? So that doesn't work at all. You cannot compensate your actual 6 to 8 hours of night sleep during the daytime. So that concept is completely wrong. So again, according to Ayurveda, you can take small power naps only during the summer seasons. Rest of the seasons, you're not allowed to. You can rest, but not go to sleep.
Okay. Deepa, there's Alka Bhapna who wants to, ask something.
Yes. Yeah.
What about yoga nidra at night?
Yeah.
And another question, there are a couple of other questions as well. So
Yeah.
first you'd like to take yoga nidra at night?
Yes, Alka. So yoga nidra is again a very beautiful practice, and from what I have seen, I personally do not practice yoga nidra, but from what I have heard from the patients who practice it, they all have different effects of yoga nidra. Some prefer doing it, early in the morning. Some find its benefits when they go to bed at night, because it actually takes them into this beautiful space of quiet and stillness and helps them go to sleep. So I think those who really have trouble sleeping or having sound sleep, yoga nidra is advised to at night before they go to bed.
Okay. There's another question from Sri Vaishnavi Anush, who asks, from what time to what time is considered ideal to sleep at night?
Ishani?
Sure. So we have this rhythm, right? So a lot of times we think of sleep as this bits and bytes of units of sleep, right? Like Dr. SaiDeepa was saying, if you miss the sleep at night, you can insert that X number of hours in the day, and then everything equates. So sleep is part of this overall rhythm, and our body, we know, right, that sound sleep, we need to be asleep at night because that's when our body rejuvenates, that's when our body metabolizes on many levels. So that 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. is when you really want to be asleep. Your body should be asleep during that window. So it means you should be falling asleep before 10 p.m. Now, I know we say fall asleep before 10 p.m. and most people are definitely not doing that. And, but it's very important, because you'll find that once you get past that 10 p.m. and do you get that second wind? You get to 10 p.m. and then suddenly you're awake again. Okay, now I'm going to go organize that drawer. Now I'm going to go write those 5 emails. You get that second burst of energy. And unless we are asleep at that time, that second burst of energy is what our body is using to metabolize, is what our body is using to process our emotions as we sleep, is what our body is using to work through all the activity, thoughts, emotions, feelings, food it was dealing with all day. So definitely falling asleep before 10 a.m. And to do that means you might have to back up some of your other rhythms. Maybe you can't really eat dinner at 9:30 p.m. and then be asleep at 10, right? So we have to work backwards a little bit, but 10 p.m. is the ideal time before 10 p.m. to be asleep, so that you don't hit that second wind and then can't fall asleep. So especially if you're one of the people who find you have a lot of running thoughts, you find it's difficult to fall asleep, check if you're falling asleep past 10 p.m. And that might be a fix to bring it earlier to help.
Thanks, Ishani. So there's another question from Sharmila Shah, who asks, I try to sleep, but a lot of times it's just some stupid thoughts, which is actually not important, but doesn't allow me to sleep. And there's Anita Sharma, who asks, if your sleep breaks in the middle of the night and you lie awake, how do you get to sleep back?
I'll pop in a couple ideas, and then Dr. SaiDeepa, you can also add to.
Yeah.
So these are signs and symptoms of an unbalanced sleep rhythm. of not being able to fall asleep, or waking, sleeping many times throughout the night. So some practices to try. One is for you people, especially try this oil on the bottom of the feet, behind the ears, and the crown of the head. Especially it will be important to stop the sensory inputs with a gap of time before you try to fall asleep. As awake as your eyes are, as activated as your ears are, as running as your mind is, you need to be even more conscious to bring it in, to slow it down, to quiet it down earlier. What else would you add, Dr. SaiDeepa?
Yeah, so I think, so this meditation, this relaxation technique that we're going to do after this, I think is also going to be really helpful to those who are looking for a sound sleep, for those who have disturbed sleep, or, you know, you just wake up in the middle of the night and you just can't go back to sleep for another 2-3 hours. And then you want to go back to sleep in the morning, early morning, right? So this has happened to all of us, and especially as women with kids around, with a lot of things running in our head, I think it is inevitable that we all go through this stage. So I think basically to be able to set our rhythm along with nature is a big, because it has helped me personally. So knowing when, being up when the sun rises, you know, going down and settling down when the sun sets, all this has actually made, and the nature will in turn help you get into this pattern of beautiful sleep, a beautiful and active and energetic day. So that's one thing that helped me personally. So I thought I'll share that. And plus, I think the relaxation that will happen after this is something that will really help us as well.
I don't see any more questions. So if there are any more questions, I think please feel free to ask or to type in.
And I think everyone is more than, they can, please take the liberty, our email IDs are out there, mine and Ishani's. Please feel free to contact us through email for any other questions and queries. We'll be happy to answer them. So I think it's 5:27, Pritika. Can we carry on? I don't want to waste everyone's time.
There's one question.
Yeah.
How to recognize the body type, please? This is from Ruchi Makija.
Oh, yeah, Ruchi. So so there are various web pages, and it's everything on Google. So you go type, you know, body type, you know, body constitution on Google, and you have a lot of questionnaires where you answer, and then it comes out with the body type. So that's one way to do it, but I wouldn't give it my 100% you know, green signal. If you personally know an Ayurveda Vaidya or Ayurveda physician, it would be better to go consult with them and get a full analysis done for yourself. Plus, Ishani and I, we conduct, you know, Swasthyam classes also in Coimbatore, which we are planning to take it online now because of this lockdown. So we have all these concepts coming up in our classes as well. So, and it's a big topic. So you can always be a part of our sessions as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Deepa. I think we can, you know, stop with the questions for now and carry on with our meditation.
Yeah. So requesting everyone to sit comfortably. We are going into this beautiful state of being completely in the present. Like someone said, you know, they're not able to sleep because there are a lot of thoughts coming up, right? These thoughts are mainly about your past. It's a worry about a past, or these thoughts are about the future. we somehow tend to forget to live in the present. And I think as powerful women, it is so, so crucial to give yourself that time to be in the present. And this is one practice where I can help you out with bringing yourself into yourself. So sit down wherever you are, relaxed. Your head, neck, and shoulders are relaxed. Gently closing your eyes. You can lean back. You don't need to have a straight back. You can gently settle down on your chairs. Rest your head if you can. Closing your eyes. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Roll your shoulders if you have to. If you feel stiff on your shoulders, just roll it out. Backwards 3 times. Forward 3 times. And turn your head from side to side just to relax those muscles on your neck. Settling down. Your entire spine is relaxed. And mentally repeat after me. I'm relaxing my toes, my heels, my feet, my toes, my heels, and my feet are relaxed. I'm relaxing my ankles. My ankles are relaxed. I'm relaxing my calves and my shins. My calves and my shins are relaxed. I'm relaxing my knees, the back of my knees. My knees are relaxed. I'm relaxing my thighs. My thighs are relaxed. I'm relaxing my hips. My hips are relaxed. I'm relaxing my buttocks. My buttocks are relaxed. I'm relaxing my lower back, my middle back, my upper back. My entire back is relaxed. I'm relaxing my lower and upper abdomen. My abdomen is relaxed. I'm relaxing my chest, my ribs. My chest and my ribs are relaxed. I'm relaxing my fingers, my palms, and my wrists. My fingers, palm, and wrists are relaxed. I'm relaxing my elbows. My elbows are relaxed. Relaxing my shoulders, my shoulder blades. My shoulders are relaxed. Relaxing my neck, the back of my neck. My neck is relaxed. Relaxing my ears, cheeks, chin, lips, nose, eyes and my eyebrows. My face is relaxed. Relaxing my forehead and my scalp. My forehead and my scalp is relaxed. I'm relaxing every strand of my hair. Every strand of my hair is sinking and relaxed. Relaxing my brain, the entire length of my spinal cord. Relaxing my heart and my lungs. Relaxing all my abdominal organs. Relaxing my kidneys and my bladder. I'm relaxing my reproductive organs. All my internal organs are relaxed. My body is relaxed. My body is relaxed. My body is relaxed. Relaxing my mind. My mind is relaxed. Relaxing my soul. My soul is relaxed. My body, mind, and soul are relaxed. Keeping your eyes closed, gently move your fingers inwards and outwards. Move your toes forward and backward. Interlock your fingers together. Keep your eyes closed. Take your arms up above your head and give a nice stretch, 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 stretch out, stretch out, stretch out, and release. Rub your palms together. Build up the heat. Feel the warmth building up in your palms. And cup your eyes. Don't put any pressure. Just feel the warmth radiating through your eyes. Bringing your arms down, slowly opening your eyes. We shall take the spirit of being in the present for the next 24 hours until we see you tomorrow at 4:30.
So once again, a very warm welcome to all of our attendees to day 2 of Health Intelligence for All through Ayurveda. We have with us Dr. SaiDeepa and Ms. Ishani Naidu. And this is day 2. We had a lovely session yesterday, Deepa and Ishani. So I would request you all to carry it forward today as well.
Thank you, Preetika. We're both just very, very happy to be here again today with this group of people. So,
thank you.
Maybe in your chat, we gave a few homeworks from last time, didn't we? We gave a few suggestions about practices you could try at home and a sort of mindset you could carry with you. So if you can, in your chat window right now, we would love to hear what was one idea from yesterday that really stuck with you, or what was one of those practices that you tried that you were able to do. So if you can just chime in with one idea that really stuck with you, that you kind of sat with for the past day, or one of those practices that you gave a try. Let us know what you did. We had talked about oiling the feet before bed. We had talked about a conscious relaxation exercise before we fall asleep. We had talked about creating a sacred hour of time before bed where we unplug from phones, from TV, from stimulation of all kinds, how that can help us sleep. We had talked about just emotional acceptance, just being with ourselves, just being in that moment. So let's hear what of those things kind of stuck with you, and maybe one that you tried. Okay, so one person has said, not looking at screen an hour before going to bed. It worked so well. I slept like a baby. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. Maybe that is why babies sleep so well, right? They're kind of detached and on their own all the time. Massaging the oil on the soles of the feet was so relaxing. Wonderful, wonderful. The wonderful thing about that practice, we had talked about warming up a little oil on the bottom of the feet, a little behind the ears, a little on the crown. The great thing about that practice is it works great the first time you do it. So it's one of those that has an immediate effect. And if you make a routine of it, it also has a great effect, but even the first time. Someone else also thought, try the oil application before bed and the first thing in the morning, right? That gratitude in the morning, that touching our joints with a little bit of love, with a little bit of awareness, a little bit of respect, appreciation, feeling that gratitude, turning off the phone an hour before bedtime. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, like we said, many of these things that we talked about yesterday, you probably had heard of, right? You probably have heard once or twice that these things work, that these things are helpful. And it's great to keep coming back to sessions like these where we get those reminders and where someone tells us, okay, let's treat today like it's special. And let's do something today that really nourishes us, that really honors us, that really gives us where we need. So I'm happy that people took up that call, and I think you can keep taking it forward. I think every day can be this special day. Every day can be sort of a retreat day where you give yourself a little something. So beautiful. Well, I'm really happy to hear that some people tried things. That's really, really great. And did anybody feel like they were able to carry through for these 24 hours? I mean, sometimes also we check into these 1-hour sessions and we feel good at the time and we feel relaxed and we feel seen and we feel held. And then it kind of falls away, you know, as we get into our daily lives, as we get into everything. Was anyone able to carry a little bit of that with them throughout this past 24 hours? A little bit of that self-awareness, a little bit of that mindfulness. Did anyone find that carried through? Contemplative mood, good, good, good. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, today, Dr. SaiDeepa is going to introduce some beautiful ideas to us, going to give us some concepts, going to give us some practical things, and then we'll do also a couple of exercises as well today. So we're going to continue that contemplative mood. We're going to continue that calm. Yes, someone else was feeling calm today. Good. So, Dr. SaiDeepa, why don't you start us with this next section?
We can start with the slides, Pritika. Thank you so much for helping me out with this.
Not at all.
Nice of So welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back today as well. And today I want to throw light on one of the most important topics that Ayurveda has described in length about aging, graceful and successful aging. At the outset, I want to bring attention to the fact that there is a philosophical perspective to the concept of aging. And in modern science, you know, everyone is trying or finding ways to prolong life, to extend life, and you know, increase the lifespan of cells. If you see molecular biology, they are trying to expand the lifespan of the cells. So this was considered asuric in ancient days. So only the you know, the Rakshasas and the Asuras wanted to extend their lifespan. They wanted to be, you know, immortal. They wanted to go on living forever. And it was not considered humane to have this aspiration to live a longer life than required. And it would be really nice, you know, to never die, right? And what will happen to the value of life if you knew that you were never going to die? So life loses value without death. Now, when we talk about aging in Ayurveda, we talk about aging from an infant to a child. You age from a child into a teenager. You age from the teenage years into adulthood, from adulthood into old age. So aging is happening from day one till you die. So when Ayurveda talks about aging, we talk about this entire process. So all the tips and all the dinacharya, the daily routine, the diet, the lifestyle, and everything has to be practiced for all age groups. Here specifically, we want to talk about Jara. So in Ayurveda, we have a specialized section called Jara Chikitsa. Jara is the geriatrics section in Ayurveda. And like I mentioned yesterday, I cannot emphasize that enough and, you know, repeat it again today. Ayurveda has this very beautiful metaphor that says, you know, childbirth is like sunrise and death is like sunset. So we must set like the sun, gracefully, beautifully, majestically at the right time. But nowadays, we see that it's all happening more like an eclipse. Sudden, unexpected, painful, disease-filled, you know, moments at the end of your life. We have this differentiation in Ayurveda called Kala Mrityu and Akala Mrityu. Akala Mrityu is where a person dies suddenly, either because of, you know, maybe an accident, or because at a very young age, you know, they go through a lot of health issues and pass away. And we have this concept of Kala Mrityu, where a person is born, lives an entire life, is productive to a society, healthy towards the end, and then sets beautifully. So in Ayurveda, we focus on giving everyone a Kala Mrityu, a life that is fulfilled, productive, and useful. And we do not have any mention of excess lifespan. The concept of anti-aging is not there in Ayurveda, but we have, you know, to learn about living a fulfilled life. We have a beautiful Mrityunjaya mantra, which goes like this: Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urva Rukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshayamamritat. So the whole, the slogan is just absolutely beautiful. It's taken out of the Rudram Chamakam. And it talks about how the second line, Urva Rukameva Bandhanat, like how a cucumber detaches itself from the vine, from the plant itself, when it's ripe, when it's ready. So that's how we must also exit. Just as gracefully and beautifully, you take the decision to detach from the plant. So I know, and I think personally, I know people who have actually, you know, mentioned, my grandparents, they have actually mentioned, you know, they have told, like, I think I'm good, I think I'm done, I think I'm good with this life, from Kerala. So in Malayalam, you know, they were saying, Madi, this is done, you know, I'm good. And in 2 months' time, my grandmother passes away. So they decide that we are good and we are ready to leave the abode. So that was the trend those days. And in Tamil Nadu also, you know, when someone dies, you hear loud music, you see people dancing, there are drums. So they celebrate life that the person has lived, more than mourning the death of the person. So this is a very, very deep philosophy, which we can talk in, you know, lots, maybe some other time, for another day. And also for many people, you know, death of a near and dear one has been very profound and deep, and it's been a very meditative experience for them. So this clearly shows the quality of the life that the person has lived up to the end. And the purpose of our life is to expand our consciousness, be productive, and contribute to the society before we set. And for this, we need health. For this, we need the guidance of Ayurveda. So social media is definitely a boon and a bane in many ways. Thanks to all the multiple filters that we have on Facebook, Instagram, and even our camera phones, you know, it has this anti-aging or this beautifying, you know, setup on the camera, and for which I must confess I'm a victim too. And it actually, you take a photograph with it and it clears up all your wrinkles, you're blemish free, it's absolutely flawless, your skin. And I was stunned looking at this. So like I mentioned yesterday, you have to look at Ayurveda like you're looking into a mirror. And a mirror without any of these filters, right? So what you see is who you are. If you think you want to change the quality of your skin, if you think you want to, you know, you will be more confident if you lose some weight, or if you gain some weight. You think you want to have all your, you know, 5 senses, your cognitive abilities in top form, even when you are in your 80s and 90s. And you want to reach that level of spiritual awakening. So Ayurveda and yoga has the answer, but for that, the first step is to take off all these filters and truly love who you are and accept yourself when you look into this mirror of Ayurveda. And Ayurveda wisdom, you know, when it holds through, like I just want to make it very clear, it holds through for the entire process. So it's not just because you're going into old age that you need to, you know, immediately take up all this. As a child, if you have children at home, this is something that you can inculcate in their daily habits as well. The daily routine, the, you know, the daily activities, the habits that will help them go into a stage where they maintain their health. Can we go to the next slide, Pritika? Yeah, so there are these beautiful steps that, you know, I can help you out with from what I have understood while studying Ayurveda. And there are a lot of things that, you know, like we said yesterday, we know we have to do a lot of things, but how are we going to actually inculcate? How are we going to bring about or harness health intelligence in our day-to-day lives, and, you know, make it happen in our day-to-day lives, and not just know it and not do anything about it? So the first step is to observe yourself. Discovering your unique nature by observing yourself without comparing with another human is very, very crucial. Now, comparisons and the concept of it, is inculcated, or we have been conditioned to compare ourselves with another at a very young age. And it happens in our family, it happens, in the community, it happens in a society. And you are compared to your sibling, you're compared to your peers all the time. Now, it is very important to treat yourself with love. And when we start becoming self-aware, there is a lot of guilt that comes up. So to be able to move past it and love yourself is very crucial. We tend to be too hard on ourselves, and whenever we identify our flaws, so please don't judge yourself too harshly at this point while you're observing yourself. Now, a simple exercise here. So I request, is everyone there with pens and papers with you, pencils and papers? So we're just going to do a few quick exercises where, we will go through these steps. So you will be able to, understand and go deeper into it through the days. So these are like just basic steps. So if you all have a pen and paper ready, it's a very small exercise where I want you to, like divide a page into two. Yeah. And one side, write down your strength, and the other side, you can write down your weaknesses. Strength and weaknesses, and start making a list here, right? It's exciting. So bring it all out, like the good, the bad, the ugly, bring it all out. You do not have to show this paper to anybody. You can tear it and throw it up later if you want. Open up entirely to the sheet of paper, bare your soul into this. Nobody is going to look at it. So it's your 100% true self on this paper. So please start writing down your strengths, start writing down your weaknesses. I'm going to, I think, take about 2 minutes. So when I started writing my strengths and weaknesses, it was so funny. I had about 5 strengths and about 15 weaknesses. So it took me some time to, accept that fact, but I had to work on it and then get over it as well. Fantastic. Thank you so much for the time. So this is a very, very basic exercise to observe yourself and to be having the strength to put it down on the sheet of paper, right? So no matter what, there is no right or wrong here. It is what it is, and we are all okay with it. So we'll go to the next slide, Pritika. So work on this, work on your strengths and weaknesses. You can think about it and keep adding, subtracting, but please make sure that you work on this as well. So the second step here is acceptance. So in our Vedas, it's mentioned, that acceptance begins with forgiveness. Forgive your past and accept your body, your mind, exactly the way it is in the present. Bring about this moment where you wholly love every part of you, just like how Ishani mentioned yesterday. You must love every part of your body. And I learned this the hard way. I really want to come out with a personal experience here, where last year, 2019, I suffered with severe knee pain. I couldn't do yoga, I couldn't work out, I couldn't go up and down the stairs. And I struggled a lot, took all the x-rays. I started Ayurveda treatment, but I couldn't complete it because I was traveling so much with the leg pain. And in the beginning, I almost was in denial, like, how could I get knee pain? I'm only this age and, I'm not supposed to be having a knee pain. So that went on for a few months. And then I realized it was getting worse. And I was traveling a lot. I couldn't do my treatments. I took x-rays. I took very expensive scans, but it showed nothing. There was absolutely nothing wrong with my knees. And after a point, it dawned on me, though I'm someone who meditates regularly. So this was like a hard hitting, thing for me, where I realized I was literally cursing my knee every day. Every time I took a step, I was literally abusing it. I was like, why are you doing this to me? So that was my attitude. And I changed my perspective here. I started meditating on my knees every day. I just used to like gently hold my knees, both my knees, and, show it some love. I started doing that every day. I started telling my knees, thank you for holding on for so long. And thank you for being there. And I had to show gratitude and love to it. And I started off my treatment, and I'm completely recovered. By December, I was completely fine. By 2019 December, my knee pain is completely gone. So I think we tend to be too harsh on ourselves. We forget to be grateful for every part of our body. And it is the most important thing that we can give ourselves, is this accepting the way you are. I want all of us to gently close our eyes. Take in a couple of deep breaths, relax. You're relaxing your back. Just relax your arms, place your palms facing upwards. Your eyes are gently closed. Your head and neck are comfortably placed on your shoulders. Your shoulders are not tight. If they are, just rotate backwards 3 times, forward 3 times. It will immediately settle down. Like on the screen, imagine yourself hugging yourself. This beautiful smile lighting up your face. You just love every part of your body, the heart that has been beating since day one until this present moment, constantly there for you, letting you know that you are alive. Those lungs that have been functioning since day one, never giving up on you, holding up strong until this present moment. Show your lungs and your heart some love. All your abdominal organs, your physical body, the skin, everything that the skin has gone through, the sun, the rain, the winters, the dryness, the sweatiness, gone through so much, and it's still there protecting you. You're loving every inch of your skin, just grateful for its existence. all your five senses, your eyes, your ears, your tongue, your skin, your nose, and how it has been functioning, connecting you to the entire world outside. It is through these five senses that you connect with the entire world. Thank each and every sense. Just utterly grateful for it working and functioning smoothly. In spite of all that we have done so far, no matter how much we've abused it, it's all still holding us together. Every part of your body, every joint in your body has held on for so long. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're loving yourself, you're showing all the gratitude to yourself, and you're accepting every part exactly the way it is. It's just perfect the way it is. Gently opening your eyes. This was acceptance. Please accept yourself for who you are, and it will make a big, big difference in your state of health. So the next step, the next slide is what the topic is all about, health intelligence, right? So you have observed yourself, you have accepted yourself, you've done this small meditative technique of accepting yourself. Now, from now on, at this point, there is this awakening that happens. So it's a process. It's not an instant realization. So this is something that happens over days, over months, over a year, maybe. And practicing observing yourself and accepting yourself, one starts to notice this paradigm shift in the quality of their life and health. So we must start making intelligent choices at this point in relation to diet and lifestyle activities. And one can make progress only if you proactively work on it. So we come back to the point where you know everything and you really don't know how to make use of health intelligence to actually start doing it. So write down, if you all have your papers and pens, please write down 3 things, 3 points that you hope for in life, either physically, mentally, or spiritually, something that you're aspiring for in these 3 dimensions, your body, the mind, and the spirit. Write down 3 important points. Can you go to the next slide, Pritika? Yeah. So the next thing that you will do is, now for this each hope, write down 1 small step that you will take, an active, intelligent, doable step towards achieving this hope. So each hope will have 1 active step that you will have to start making to achieve it. So this at this point, it's more like a tap on your shoulder. It's like, get up, start doing it. So that's where we are right now. A very simple step, nothing major. Great. So the next point, the final point here is, now with these 3 hopes, once you achieve it, how will you feel? So what is that emotion that you're looking for once you achieve this goal? So this is very, very crucial. to understand where you're headed, and why you're headed. So it has to be well thought of. It can't be random, just for the sake of writing. So these are exercises which you're doing right now. Please also go inwards and think deeper and see if you can get, deeper analysis for these questions as well later whenever you feel contemplative. Yeah, so now at this point, you have observed yourself, you have accepted yourself, you're just loving yourself, and you have started making intelligent choices, and you have started with taking the right steps towards it. So how does one do this? Can we go to the next slide? We have everything written. We know everything. We have everything written. We know where we are headed. Next is to start implementing it, and that's where habits come in, right? How does one develop a new habit? How do you inculcate new habits into your life? So I think there's a mistake with the slide here. So there's this amazing quote that I read about habits. So I'm a big fan of Anthony Robbins, and so there's this quote in here by Orison Swett Marden. It says, "The beginning of a habit is like an invisible thread, but every time we repeat the act, we strengthen the strand, add to it another filament until it becomes a great cable and binds us irrevocably, thought and act." Yeah. So this is something that I read out every day because to strengthen all the new habits that I've cultivated. And there's this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is again an amazing book if you want to read more in depth about cultivating habits. The crux of habits is always start small, almost the invisible thread. So please go through the book also. Watch your current habits. What are you doing right now? What do you get up? What do you do as soon as you wake up in the morning? Like Ishani asked yesterday, how do you feel when you wake up? Watch yourself, observe yourself here. And during this observing yourself period, start with all the small things that you do. I realized a few years back that, I always had a very weak right shoulder, and this arm always felt dull. So I was wondering what the reason was. I started going through and observing myself. I found out that I always sleep on my right arm, on my right side every day, every night. And so the one small change that I started making here was to roll back each time. I consciously went to bed at night thinking that, I will sleep on my back and not on my right or on my left. So that was one thing I consciously started doing. I had to change my current habit. And now it's totally fine. So notice how you have the rhythm to your morning. It's almost automatic. Like there's no effort going in to your daily morning rhythm or your entire day's rhythm. So if you want to develop any new habit, do it along with the obvious one. Now connect them. So if, for example, if you wake up in the morning, you're on your phone for 30 minutes, then you go to the toilet and then you brush your teeth and then you go grab your cup of coffee or tea, etc., etc., etc. So that's how the routine is. So now the trick here is to add a new habit to your already existing habits in between. For example, you can say, I shall drink my cup of tea and then meditate for 15 minutes. You have to be like very specific. I will do this, then I will do this for this much amount of time. Now, so this, you are telling it in your head, so it gets registered in your brain. So after I read out my book at bedtime, I will go make a note of gratitude in my gratitude journal at night. So you need to be very, very specific that after doing this particular current habit, I will do this new habit. So what happens is it is more easy here. It becomes very simple for you to follow a new habit here. So be very specific, be clear with everything that you want to inculcate into your daily lives. Make it very obvious, make it simple, make it attractive, and make it very satisfying. Next slide. Thank you. So the points will come up. Yeah. So before this, Yeah, so make it obvious, make it simple, make it attractive, and make it satisfying. So this exercise will make everything doable also. So it's not like too much of pressure on your head. So these simple gradual changes in turn will bring out a compound effect. So over days and weeks, you will realize what kind of an impact this small change has made in your life. So what has got me so captivating about Ayurveda and our Vedas and the Vedanta philosophy is the flexibility it gives us, and it makes us stretch out so much into the future with so much courage and confidence without forgetting the power of now, right? So we can all have goals, we can have like a future set, we can work towards it, but also meanwhile remaining in the present grounded state. This again is very, very deep philosophy, and this one simple exercise I want all of us to experience now is the power of visualization. So can we all gently close our eyes? Lot of exercises at every point. So these are small tips, that tricks that we can follow in our daily lives towards health intelligence, towards health, towards graceful and successful aging. Kalam. So closing your eyes, just imagine 5 years down the line, just 5 years down the line, 2025, you're imagining yourself, your ideal self of how you want you to be 5 years down the line, physically, mentally, emotionally, your relationship wise, your living environment, everything around you, socially, spiritually, career wise, financially, where you want to be 5 years down the line. You're living that moment right now. Slowly pulling yourself backwards 1 year down the line. Where do you see yourself? Where do you have to be at the end of this year so that you can be what you visualize at the end of 5 years? What do you have to do now at the end of this 1 year? Where do you stand? From that point, you're coming into the end of this week. What am I going to implement for myself this week to be where I want to be in the future? What do I have to start doing now and achieve at the end of this week? Pulling yourself further in. Today, where do I stand? And what changes am I going to make? What are those health intelligent choices for today that I have to make to achieve what I want at the end of the week, end of this year, at the end of 5 years? At this present moment, this second, this moment that I am in right now, where do I stand? Being completely non-judgmental, must all start with self-awareness, self-love, and a state of confidence and bliss. Just being in the moment, just being present, and still having beautiful visualization for the next week, next year, another 5 years. Gently opening your eyes. Thank you so much. Ishani will go in deeper with the philosophy behind how being in present is important, about how being in the now is crucial, talking about visualization and the concept of aham arogyam. Ishani.
That was like a beautiful journey we went on. I was fully there, and then I was fully here.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, to everything you said. And one important piece, how when we bring together both a deep acceptance of where we are now, of who we are now, our state of our body, our state of our mind, our state of our emotions, our state of our soul, and where we are on the spectrum of aging. You know, are we at high noon? Are we in a twilight? Or where we are? That deep acceptance plus that intelligence of saying, okay, I accept it. Here's where I am right now. And what is my next action? What is my next step that I'm taking right here, right now? That's such a beautiful combination of what graceful aging looks like. You know, you see adults, you see elderly people who have that peacefulness, and yet they're still moving, they're still acting, they're still active in the world. So I think that's wonderful. I think especially for people like us who are active in the world, who are business people, who have goals, who have a driving force to make change in the world, to create something, to create abundance, to give jobs to people, to find success, material success, who also have responsibilities to our families, to our societies, to uplift the people around us, to serve the people around us. We feel responsible for those people. Sometimes we have to feed them, we have to clothe them, we have to raise them. So there's a lot of forward thinking, right? A lot of that all involves planning, that all involves looking ahead. And it's really tempting when we do look ahead to feel like there's a lot of pressure that we have to pull ourselves to that finish line, or pull ourselves to that goal, pull ourselves to that ideal that we want to see. And I think also when it comes to aging, we feel a lot of pressure to take care of our body, to take care of ourselves now out of fear of what might happen in the future. We don't want to get cancer. We don't want to lose our senses. We don't want to suffer from mental deterioration. You know, so a lot of looking into the future either fills us with a lot of drive and a lot of pressure and push to get there, or we're motivated by a fear of making happen what we don't want to happen, you know, a fear of avoiding an unhappy future that we've either seen other people achieve or we've seen happen to others. And so it's tempting to go there. It's very tempting to go there. And that's a human condition. And that is exactly what we hear in the Bhagavad Gita. We're warned against in the Bhagavad Gita about controlling and micromanaging and stressing over these actions we're taking right now so that we get a certain result down the line, so that we prevent something from happening that we don't want. And that causes us to spin and spin and spin every day. That's an overwhelming and unrealistic, really, place to be, to orient ourselves, whether it comes to our health, our profession, our household responsibilities. So we know this also. We also know this, that we can only do what we can do, and we really can't control what's happening in the future. We can't control the fruits of those things. And that, I think, is what this visualization exercise helps us with. That's what this deep, deep acceptance helps us with, is being who we are, where we are right now. And also owning the fact that we have to do something. We have to act in the world. And so that's where that intelligence comes in. So one way to think about this is, and this is what I loved about that visualization that we just had, that took us into the future and brought us back, which is an exercise we all can do when it comes to our business planning models, when it comes to our financial planning to make sure we have enough for our kids to go to college, when it comes to all kinds of things. This is a strategic way to live, right? To look into the future and come back. But often those models of business or of planning or of strategizing or of manifesting what we want, they don't come all the way into this really present moment, which is where we were guided to come to with Dr. SaiDeepa, of coming into this heartbeat, this inhalation and this exhalation. How is what I'm doing right now, what seeds am I planting with my actions, with my choices, with my habits? In this exact moment, what seeds are being planted? It's a deeply accepting way of acknowledging that what we're doing now is affecting our future, but all we can do is plant it in the moment, right? And one way to guide ourselves with that, because one way to guide ourselves with that is to ask ourselves often, is what I'm doing right now deeply aligned with my deep inner values? What I really value? Is what I'm doing today, is what I'm saying today, are the seeds of action I'm planting today really aligned with what I truly value? So when we made that little list right now, and as SaiDeepa mentioned, it'd be great to come back to it, of what are the hopes I have for my body? What are the hopes I have for my mind, for my soul on a spiritual path? That's a way of identifying what we really do value, what's really, really important to us. And when we can identify what's really, really important to us, what deep in our core we really believe is very valuable and what we really value, when we can identify that, it's a lot easier moment to moment to say this is in alignment or this is out of alignment. So for instance, if what I tell myself is I really value having a calm and peaceful mind. I wish I had a calm and peaceful mind. I think that's important. I really value that. And yet moment to moment, I catch myself telling a little white lie that's going to come back and bite me later. Or I catch myself committing to something and saying I'll do something, but I know in my heart of hearts that there's really no possible way I can do that, or that I'm saying yes now because I'm afraid to say no. These small things about choices we make and things we say, that's going to affect my peace of mind, right? I'm going to keep running that in my head. So this is a small example of these kind of things. Or, for instance, I say in my hopes, my list of things that I really, really value. I really value a healthy body. I really value my immunity. And then I catch myself eating healthy throughout the day, and then late at night binging on a bunch of snacks because I'm like bored, or because I just want it, or because I've lost my willpower by the end of the day. That's a little moment where I get that little ding in my mind which says, is this action I'm doing right now, is this just having this junk food fast before I can stop myself, is that aligned with my deep value of physical health? Because sometimes when we talk about making habits, these tips for making the habits are so helpful. I love the idea of linking them to something that's already your habit, of making them super simple and micro so that you feel a little bit of success and then you have a little more success and a little more success. These are so effective. But sometimes when we talk about shifting our habits, it can feel overwhelming because we sit here and we think, okay, right now I don't take a walk for an hour every day, but I want that to be my habit. So we look ahead at this stretch of time, this long lifetime ahead of 1 hour walks every day. And that seems like a big thing to take on. But if we say, okay, every day before I go home to start prep for dinner at 5 p.m., I'm going to take my walk. Today, right now, I'm going to take my walk at 5 o'clock. Then we build it on one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. So through this visualization, through these micro habits, through clubbing them with other things we already do every day, we're bringing ourselves deeply into the now. And we're telling ourselves there's a whole field, there's a whole beautiful meadow of blossoms of wellness and vitality and just abundance on every level. And your only job is not to worry about how all those flowers are going to grow, but only worry about planting that seed today, giving a little bit of water, showing it a little bit of sunshine. And that starts with that acceptance, that starts with intelligent choices, that starts with these strategically implementing them one moment to moment, relieving ourselves of the pressure and stress of starting a whole habit and feeling that weight on this moment. No, this one moment is only the responsibility. And one way to help ourselves, to give ourselves a little inner support, is to remind ourselves that the power to change, the power to make these intelligent choices, it comes from inside of us. So there's not a fancy supplement that you can take that'll give you more willpower. There's not one little treatment you can get that'll give you more willpower. All that doesn't come from outside. It really comes from deeply inside of us. And so there's 2 techniques that I want to share today that'll help you reconnect to that inner power, because sometimes we feel like we've lost our power to change our habits, or we've lost our power to control ourselves, when really it's never lost, we've just forgotten it. So one is the power of making a sankalpa. And we hear this word sankalpa in different places, but here it means reconnecting with your own power to make a solemn commitment to your own self. So as you look through that list of your hopes for yourself on different levels, as you list out, what is one small thing I can actually do, then it's time to make that commitment to do it. And one technique you can use is at night, after you've oiled your feet, of course, and after you've already had an hour of no TV, no screens, and you're quietly laying in your bed, and you've relaxed your body, you've relaxed your mind, you're getting ready. At this point, just as you're about to switch over into falling asleep, you reiterate to yourself that sankalpa. And it can be simple and direct. So it can be, tomorrow I will go for a 30-minute walk. Or tomorrow I will journal for 10 minutes. Something very simple that you've decided already through intelligence that this is going to help you in the long run. And you watch. something really amazing and magical happens when you do this. You carry that solemn commitment to yourself through the night, and you will find when you wake up the next day, that thing is at the top of your consciousness. You remembered it, and you'll be amazed that throughout the day, somehow something will open up. Some time will be there because it's running in your mind. I'm taking this 30-minute walk, or I'm going to go do some yoga, or, you know. So try this technique of, once you've done that exercise, figuring out what it is, make that solemn resolve to yourself, because it's an inner power that makes it happen for you the next day. The one is this, it's very simple, but very effective. And the other is giving yourself some kind of affirmation. An affirmation is simply a positive statement that reinforces what you deeply value, what you know to be true about yourself, but have a hard time remembering throughout the day. And so these can be all kinds of things. And my favorite ones, I'll share with you now just a couple of my favorite ones, specifically that help, I think, when we're talking about aging. So it's very easy to do, and we'll just take 2 minutes, and then maybe we can take a few questions. Does that work, SaiDeepa, for the time?
Yeah, sure.
So this would be the right time to, when you're, you can do this at any time. You don't even have to be alone by yourself. Anytime you think of it, you can remind yourself of these statements. But so you can try these. Go ahead again and just close your eyes for now. And I'll give you a couple of my favorites. So go ahead and just close your eyes. You've spent so much time in this inner space, so I'm sure very quickly you'll feel calm and relaxed. Take a few breaths. Bring your gentle awareness maybe to your heart space, or your forehead and like the third eye area, or even the crown of your head, wherever you feel a little gentle warmth. Let that warmth just kind of fill up your whole body. When you feel like your body's relaxed and you feel a gentle glowing warmth inside of you, simply give yourself a statement like, I accept myself as I am right now. Mentally repeat to yourself, I accept myself as I am right now. Another one is, my body may age, but my soul is unlimited. My body will change and age, but my soul is unlimited. I am complete always. I am complete always. I am infinite potential. Infinite potential. Gently open your eyes. So as you look at your list of deep values of health on all layers of your being that you're trying to cultivate, spend a moment and find just one nice statement for yourself that encapsulates the deep value that you need to remember. You need to remember, and when that memory becomes just your day-to-day, these changing habits, these healthy choices, taking good actions will become much easier, much easier. So this is what I wanted to share with you about the softer side of making practical changes for your health, for your well-being, for your aging. I think we have time for maybe just a couple of questions also. Shall we accept a few questions?
Sure, Ishani. In fact, there's one right now from Saloni Mehta who asks, what can one do if you have a pain near the ankle, like one nerve on another?
Yeah, so I think that's a medical situation, and definitely I don't know if I can, prescribe any medications right now, because the patient has to be seen, and we need to find out what the real problem is. So if you can consult and a physician, it would be great, Saloni.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we shall have a recording, and in fact, it is streaming on Facebook Live right now, but I'll make sure that the recording is available to all of the attendees.
No questions means everyone is clear with whatever has been spoken. I'm glad.
Everyone's in a very calm state of mind. Also,
Yeah,
trying to absorb everything that they have learned today.
just accepting whatever we have said. Yeah.
Want to ask, this is from Sharmila Shah.
Yeah.
She wants to ask, what is the good time to take sun in the morning? Till what time?
I think she's asking for sunlight.
Sunlight, I think she
Sunrise.
wants to know
Yeah.
when is a good time to go and stand in the sunlight for some time.
Ishani?
Sure, yeah. Seeing the sunrise is at the sunrise, as early as possible, definitely, before 8 a.m., I would say.
Without sunscreen.
And anyhow, what's that? Yeah, without sunscreen, right. Yeah, and seeing the sunrise in the morning is noted as an incredible medicine, really, for a lot of mental disturbances. I mean, we know how we feel, right? When the sun rises, we feel hopeful, we feel not depressed, we feel ready for the day. So there's many health benefits on the mental level from seeing the sunrise in the morning and spending some time in that sun. And also absorbing it into your skin. I mean, there's health benefits for that. But again, that early morning sun is better. That sharp midday sun is a bit too harsh. Yeah. What else would you like to add to that?
Same, Ishani. That's all.
So there's another question from Haim Sandaria, who wants to know any recommendations to fix bloating?
The main cause for bloating is something that you've ingested, something that you have eaten and not agreed to your system. And if it's not absorbed into your system properly, so there is an issue with your metabolism. So correcting your metabolism, your Jatara Agni, the Agni that in Ayurveda we call your digestive fire, has to be corrected at this point. So digestion is good, and whatever you eat will get assimilated into your system. So it's something that you've eaten that's causing bloating, and you can probably watch, follow and see what is triggering it.
And Salonaji is asking, how do you deal with lower back pain?
I'm the only one asking the questions, I think.
Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent session you're having.
Thank you, Saloni. So nice of you. So yeah, I think the medical questions, please feel free to, you can email me, and I can probably help you out with the issues that you're going through.
So from Alka Bapna, there's a question for daily routine for having good skin, plus some diet tips.
Ishani.
Yeah, I think, well, we could have a whole other 48-hour retreat on glowing skin and delicious food. I think mainly, yeah, what to say in 10 seconds. But I think, so for food, definitely try to eat your meals on time, at the same time every day, with a gap between each meal. So no snacking in between. Dinner should be early, not so much late in the night. For skin is often a lot related with your food, with the food that you're eating, with your internal health also. So that is coming out on the skin. So often there are many beautiful things we can put on our skin. We always prefer natural things kind of from our kitchens for our skin to apply from the outside, but also a real look at how you are internally, whether you're having internal heat or indigestion or stress or things like that, are really going to show up on the skin too. So of course in Ayurveda, everything is very interrelated and interlinked. So if you specifically have skin problems, again, wonderful to consult with someone, because they can look at your whole system and find out where exactly something has gotten out of balance.
Thank you. So there's another question from Meena Goyal, who asks, I keep getting cold, otherwise I'm very strong.
Yeah. So again, cold, it depends on, whether you have a blocked nose as soon as you wake up in the morning, and then you're fine throughout the day, or you have this cold for like an entire week and then you get it, after a week again. So there are various reasons why, this could be happening. I think this cold keeps coming up because of weather changes. So you cannot be following the same diet and lifestyle that you had in summer and carry on that same thing during the rainy season as well. So you must be able to differentiate that in your, that's health intelligence, right? So you must be able to know, so the weather's changing, I cannot be eating probably, curd doesn't suit me at night now, that's starting to rain every day. And some of them during the summers, they leave their windows open and sleep close to the windows, so it gets chilled, and because of that there's always cold coming up every day. So there's one patient who came like, I have cold every day. So I just realized that they keep their head close to the window with the windows open. So every morning he came with a cold. So just that one small thing. So you do not need medications, or this is Ayurveda. So Ayurveda is for everybody, and for anyone who is ready to learn. And you need to just understand that you have to close your windows and sleep at night, and you're better in the morning. So that could be various answers to that also. Yeah.
So there's another question from Hem Samdaria, who asks recommendation for hot flashes. And Jayanti Manohar wants to know some good tips for good thick hair. And there's another question from Sharmila Shah, who asks, can we cure melasma?
Yeah. So for hot flushes, I think hot flushes is the most natural thing that happens during the menopause. And there are again various, things that we can do to reduce. It depends on how severe or how bad the hot flushes are. So if you understand that, whether if it really needs a treatment or not, otherwise it's a very natural process that happens in a woman's body.
The melasma question and the thick hair.
Yes, melasma, thick hair, thyroid. I think diet plays like a major role in all this, So I think it's very, very crucial considering and understanding your body constitution, considering the place, the region that you're from, and considering the seasons. I think it's so important to create that beautiful, unique diet for yourself. And it has to keep changing. The diet has to keep changing through various seasons. Yeah.
Right. Someone wants to know for thyroid. I don't know what the full question is, but she's asking for thyroid.
She probably wants to know what we can do for thyroid. So again, you can always consult a close physician, Ayurveda physician, if you know. And if it is really in extreme, it's okay to go into allopathy. So because we all need to work together. Allopathic medications is recommended, and you can also continue with Ayurveda so that you do not continue with the allopathic medications. But in the beginning, to control it, it's always okay to opt for allopathy. But if it's not too much, you can always go meet an Ayurveda physician and find out the right prescription for yourself.
Shall I share?
Melasma. Yeah.
Yeah, Ishani, you were.
I was just going to say, shall I share our email addresses also in case these specific questions will definitely need to be seen in a full context? Yeah. Shall I?
It is there for you on the screen.
Almila should ask for melasma. Again, I think all this is, there's a lot of introspection that's required in all these conditions.
Yeah. I don't think we are getting any more questions, or shall we just wrap it with a couple of more questions?
Yeah, sure. Pritika.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a very good session.
That's
We really had a really wonderful session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for attending.
Pratika, it's so nice seeing
Yes,
you.
Salon.
We keep chatting on the WhatsApp, but
of the WhatsApp group.
Face to
Thank you
face.
very much.
We had an excellent session. Very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For their appreciation and for the support in circulating the message to everyone in Delhi. And
that is our President Janvi's orders, so we do it.
Correct.
Very
Thank
great.
you so much. Thank you.
So that's very nice of her to connect everybody,
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. So Dr. SaiDeepa and Ishani Naidu, I think it was an excellent 2 days retreat, shall we say, discussing about health intelligence for all was extremely empowering because the things that we all realize, but we somehow fail to implement, it was expressed so beautifully by the two of you. For me personally, the power of visualization was immense, and it was really powerful in a way that I was able to see how things would be and how I could change myself right now, right here, to make a difference to my future. So that was very powerful. I'm sure each one of you would have a lot of takeaways too. From Ishani, I think to have that one powerful statement for yourself, I think that's really important too. I'm going to be doing that right away. And the beautiful concept of taking life like a beautiful sunrise and a majestic sunset. I think that encapsulates the whole, 2 days of the retreat, the Ayurveda retreat that we were all on. So thank you very much on behalf of Flow Coimbatore. It was such a pleasure to have the two of you doing this session for us. And I thank all of the attendees who've come from across the chapters. I thank each one of you for supporting us and coming and attending these 2 days of this small mini workshop series that we've curated for you. So thank you once again. Dr. SaiDeepa and Ishani, as part of a sustainable practice,
Thank you so much, Tika. Such a lovely plant with a beautiful thing from FICCI. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Deepa. It was just a small token of our appreciation for the two of you, and it's part of a sustainable practice as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can I ask